Hello, fellow subscribers and visitors. This is Draft, and welcome to our first Q&A. Now, we have I haven't counted the questions yet actually, but we're basically just going to run through them because I did get all the questions I got out of the last video, so we're just going to go ahead and answer them now. So, how about we just go ahead and start this, but actually, first, I want to thank you all for subscribing to this channel. It really does mean a lot. And plus, all the views that I've been getting, it's been a great experience on how it's been lately. And I've just been noticing it about this year that everything's just going faster in views and, subscribers count. And it's going crazy. I'm like, why is this happening? I just don't know. But, yeah. So... sorry about that. That was my phone. So how about let's just go ahead and get this thing started, alright? So, first question is from Roman Tinuko. I'm gonna say all these names, by the way. I'm gonna say all of them. Roman Tinoko. I'll say Roman Tinoko. Alright, this one says, how long does it take to make video itself? Like, how long does it take to make a video itself? It really does only depend on the video. What I make is a little dependent. Like, sometimes it just depends on how much you have planned. Like, if I have some kind of like a PMV or have some kind of a trailer planned out to create, then maybe I'll think it through and I have every single second in my mind to do it, and that really won't take me, less than a day. It'll take me less than a day to do that. But if I have an idea on what to do, but I don't know how I'm going to do it, then that's just going to take me, days or maybe weeks, however long does it take me. But, some can actually take a long time to do, even though that I know exactly what to do. Just because of, searching for the right clips, basically. It kind of works like that way in a bit, but yeah, kind of something like that. So basically, it only depends. Yeah, the length of making these videos only depend. All right, so let's see what the next question is. All right, this one is from the Pink Brigade. The Pink Brigade. Ooh, I like that, actually. Alright, these are 3 questions here that this one gave us. So, 1, as of Season 5, how do you rank the main 6 from favorite to least? I guess that's writing dependent, isn't it? That's writing dependent. I don't know. I really can't tell so far. But, I mean, the writers actually have been doing the main 6 well. Because, it was getting a little sketchy around some points in Season 4. But sometimes, there was a point, like an episode, where it just jumped back to getting it right. So, that worked. That worked fine. And so, as of Season 5, I think they've been going really good with the characters so far, actually. So I'm looking forward to, what more they have installed. Your second one is, well, I guess I would have to choose a favorite, maybe, if I can. Well, I really can't. I guess it's all favorites. I guess they're all my favorites so far, so I can't really rank it. Second one, what are your favorite ships? You know what? I guess my favorite, fan ships, I think it's the Celestia to Discord. I think I'm interested in that one more, just because the characters and their relationship to each other. It's kind of a funny thing to look at. This chaotic, fun-going kind of person with this with the princess right here, who is more in the what's that word I'm looking for? Fancier of some sort. I don't know, more organized or something. But yet you can tell that in the show that she does have that inner child. Like sometimes she'll show it. Everybody can be like so worried about like Celeste being disappointed in something, and then all of a sudden she's not, and she's like oh yeah, no, this is fine, that's fine. Like, don't worry about it, or some sort. But yeah, it's kind of like that. But yeah, that, and also for the fan art, there was some like a lot of adorable fan art out there. It's like, yeah, pretty cool. All right, and your third one is Celestia or Luna. Celestia or Luna? Why not both? Okay. Now here comes this next question. We're going to go on to Nila Knight, or Nyla Knight. I'm going to go ahead and say Nila. Nila sounds cute. Alright, Nila Knight. You ask, what inspired you to make that awesome trailer of Bride on Bride of Discord, created by Disney Fanatic 2364? Well, I was always inspired to do it ever since I saw the 10th and final episode right on the night when it was uploaded. When I saw that it was uploaded, it was like at 2 a.m. It was like, I think it was like 2 a.m. in the morning. I was just about to go to bed. Like, I was just about to go to bed because I was so tired. I'd done all this, work from my school, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna crash to bed. But then all of a sudden I see that, and my eye just went open, and I just said, no, screw it. I can kill one more hour just so I can watch this video. So I got myself right back up and just watched that video. So after watching that, yeah, I did feel the inspiration to do it because I really liked how the story was written, how it paid off to Beauty and the Beast and all. It was like the character choices. It's dead on perfect with the original characters of Beauty and the Beast and all. And I guess it just would be interesting. It felt like kind of a cinematic event. So I just kind of wondered, what if this thing had like a full trailer? So that's what gave me that inspiration. But it took me a while to think it over, to say, do I really want to do this? And that's when I said, you know what, I'm going to try it. So that's when I asked Disney Fanatic for the permission to make that video. And she gave me the permission. Went for it. I had no idea what musical I was going to use, but I had to keep on, searching for the exact type of music that I was going to use. And that's really hard in making trailers. It's when you're trying to find the right music to use, because you don't want to choose anything that's melodramatic or just below what it is, below the hype, the intensity or something, basically. But yeah, I hope that answers your question, but yeah, that's what it does. Okay, now we have these 3 questions coming from Ad and Clue for Z. For wait, hold on. I can get this. Adan Clue for Shishi. Adan Clue for Shishi. I give up. Alright, so your 3 questions. First one, who's best pony? So that means, who is my favorite pony, basically. My favorite character is, I'm a little bit conflicted over Rainbow Dash or Twilight Sparkle. They're my 2 favorite characters out of the show, honestly. Because whenever there is an episode about either of them, I know it's just gonna be a good time of the episode, because they're just really hilarious to me. Like the situations they get into, it's always fun, and it's always emotional at times, and also heartwarming, kind of thing. They're two fun characters. But yeah, that. Second question, who is your waifu? Lord have mercy, you would ask that, wouldn't you? Okay. So, basically, in other words, this kind of means like, let's think into my pony head and see who would I be interested with. Is that basically what you're saying there? So, yeah, let's just think of it this way. Think about me, draft. Think about me in Equestria, and I know them. So, who would I have the interest with? Because, since I won't be human, who would I have the interest with? Character-wise, it does seem like it does, point mostly towards Twilight. Mostly there. Because, like the interest of basically knowledge, and also there's basically fangirling over these books, because I read a lot of books as well. So there's a lot of communication that can go on in there, so that'll make it kind of an easy kind of thing. So I guess when it comes to my character draft, who is into filmmaking, and when it's come to filmmaking, you're telling stories, and when it comes to Twilight side, she's reading stories. So I guess you're kind of getting into what the connection can go on in here. She reads stories, I create stories. So I guess you can see now on why Twilight would be the choice of that. So yeah, that answers your question right there. All right. Third one, do you like hockey and NASCAR? No, I'm not into sports, sadly. I'm not actually. Sorry. I don't know why, but I just don't. I'm not. I don't. But oh well. Yeah. So yeah, that answers. All right. Now we have a question from Pugiwaza. All right, and he's telling me that congratulations on 2,000 subscribers. So thank you very much about that. Yeah. All right. So your question. You have two questions. Your questions are, all right. The first one, what are your favorite kind of movies, TV shows? Well, let's just split them apart. When it comes to the movies, I do like big blockbusters and all, but I do also like dramas that has like a really good screenplay into it. Like I love like a very well put screenplay, or just a movie that has like very maybe movie that lacks dialogue and needs to do that, because that technique, show don't tell kind of thing. I really love that technique, the show don't tell technique, where you have to know what's going on by the visuals of the movie, how the scene is shot, or how the character acts, basically. But if you want to go down to genres, then basically I do love drama. I do love drama and all. Drama, action, sci-fi, fantasy, I'm for all that. So yeah, TV shows, yeah, it's definitely drama when it comes to TV shows, because I watched The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones and all. Yeah. Those kind of things, basically. Alright. Your second question. If you aren't filmmaking, what other hobby do you like? Well, yeah, I guess I'd be finding like another job. I would be finding another job, but I still have the hobby that I'm doing right now that is on YouTube, or well, basically, yeah, like that, or drawing, because I'm an artist too. I'm a furry as well. What I'm showing you right now is the artwork that I have done, basically. I keep saying basically. Ugh. But yeah, I guess I'd be stuck doing that, pretty much. So yeah, that's how I'd be stuck doing. But yeah, filmmaking is a great thing. So, but without that, I guess I just be remained as a family person, like be a father, be married, all that. But of course, if I do become a filmmaker, I will still have that other hobby. So, I don't know if is it considered a hobby? I guess. I don't know. Moving on. All right. Now we have this one coming from Hub Hikari. I'll say Hub Hikari. All right. So you have 3 questions for me. Your first one is, what are your thoughts on Spider-Man now being introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I am happy, very happy that they're doing this. It's still weird, but I'm still happy for it, because the Amazing Spider-Man itself, it never should have happened in the first place. It wasn't, necessary for that to even happen. Like, we had the original movies going on with Tobey Maguire, and well, yeah, that stopped, but probably would have been kept on going, and I'm pretty sure that the 4th Spider-Man movie would have actually been better than the 3rd one, because Sam Raimi didn't like Spider-Man 3 himself. He says that, I think he just said like it was crap. And I think he wanted to do more justice into the 4th Spider-Man movie, which I would have liked. So yeah, I would have liked to see a 4th Spider-Man out of there. But when the Amazing Spider-Man came along, I was like, okay, why are they doing this? There's really nothing round on like why exactly are they just gonna do this again. And then again, it's also being owned by Sony, so this character cannot, get into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I said, but wait, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you have Spider-Man, so he's gotta come up at some point. So maybe you can get Andrew Garfield to come into this. So that was canceled out. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I did enjoy the Amazing Spider-Man. I think they did do a good job on that. I had some problems with it. Like, I didn't like the fact that he had to create, his web shooting thing. I think they should have kept on to the comics more when it comes to that movie. Well, yeah, just power wise, because they mashed up with they mashed it up well when it comes to like timeline kind of thing, the Gwen Stacy storyline and all. So yeah, I enjoyed the first one. The second one was good, kind of okay-ish thing. I expected Jamie Foxx's Electro to be like a better villain, but I didn't like him. Sorry about that. So let's move through. Don't want to make this too long. All right, so number 2, who is your favorite pony and why? Well, yeah, if you can remember back to when well, what's the name? Yeah, for Shizzy. when it said about the, asked me about the waifu and all, it's, how Twilight has this interest when it comes to knowledge, and also this interest into reading stories. This kind of there's this like big fangirl side of her, and it kind of she kind of relates to me. Like, imagine that all those books were movies and you basically got me. And I mean, I have two favorites. So it's Twilight, and also for the fact that she's a hilarious character. And then there's Rainbow Dash, who is also a hilarious character. And they're, interesting. Like Rainbow Dash's loyalty side. It's kind of, it's nice to see that kind of side of her. Like when you look at her, and when you hear her, and when you try to judge the book by its cover, then you think that she's like this kind of a bully kind of mare, but then she's actually not. She's actually the one who defends the well considered weak, basically. Like she defended Gilda, she defended Fluttershy, and they were both shy characters when they were her age, and I just really like that, because you think that Rainbow Dash will be the one who will be in the cool kids kind of area kind of thing. I forget what the word is when they're just grouped up, like all the cool kids are in this table over here in this group, and they don't talk to other people. But she's all around, and that's what makes Rainbow Dash an interesting character there. So my two favorites, Twilight, Rainbow Dash. 3. If you had the opportunity to work for a major studio, which one would it be and why? I have 3 that I'm aiming towards. That I'd be interested in working for: 20th Century Fox, Warner Bros., Universal. Those 3 studios I would love to work with, actually. Although right now, like, I would actually love to, work with Warner Bros. Mostly. Warner Bros. Or Universal, mostly. But then I do have this strong passion for 20th Century Fox as well. For the fact that, they can be a great production team, but, some of you know that I always wanted to adapt the book series, The Inheritance Cycle. I've always wanted to reboot the franchise, not because that the original movie wasn't a good adaptation. It's just that whenever I read the books, I have these great images in my head that I really want to share it to others, and every day I keep imagining what would it be like if I did actually adapt that book, how well I would have written the characters, and how great the visual effects will be, and how fun I would have making those movies. And I said, okay, this is my dear passion to do, and I'm just really hoping that nobody else does it before me. Because a lot of movies are getting reboots nowadays, so that's what scares me. And plus, people are begging 20th Century Fox to reboot it. And I don't know. Tell me this: does 20th Century Fox, do they still own the rights to Aragon, or did they lose it? Because I know Walt Disney lost the rights to John Carter, and that canceled the sequels. But Aragon, their sequels are canceled. But do they still own that franchise? Can you tell me that? Can you tell me if they still own those books? That they still own Aragon and all? Let me know about that. Cause this is my dear passion, you guys. And also, I had this crazy idea that I really want to do like a fan made short film that is based around within the world of the Inheritance Cycle in my early years, like probably after I leave college. Maybe I can fund the film to try to get the right budget and the right team to make it possible. Also, plan the story, probably not use the characters from the book, but use new characters, and just take it let it take place somewhere else. I mean, a different time zone. I'm not sure yet, but that's one of the things that I want to do. Like, make that for two reasons: to actually have the experience to be in the world of the inheritance cycle, and also hopefully to make the message clear that I would really love to jump in to make these movies possible. So it's like my so it's kind of like making an application, basically. That's what I'm heading towards, and I'm really hoping that I can make this this movie like possible. So yeah, there's that, and yeah, but yeah. So I guess basically 20th Century Fox, Warner Bros, Universal, they just entertain me. Yeah. All right. Now we have this from Melitos. Not really sure how to say it, but Melitos, I don't know. But okay. Here. Saying congratulations. I think that my favorites are the Space Dandy AMV, the Iron Mare 3, and the Twilight vs. T-Rex, the Attack on Titan style. Love that. Thank you very much for that one. All right, and you have you have. Did I actually say quite? Oh my goodness. Okay. 5 questions for me. Number 1, what is your filmmaking career dream? I just explained it to y'all, didn't I? Making the inheritance cycle come to life. So I hope the question, previous before, brings it up to y'all. Hope that actually helps, because I keep having a lot of plans. I would make an entire video on what my plans are, but I don't know. I don't know about spilling it all, because there's a lot in my mind, because it's 4 books. A lot of things are in my mind. But yeah. So yeah, you do have that. I already answered your question, so there you go. Number 2. What software do you use for making your videos? I use Sony Vegas Movie Studio HD Platinum 10. These are actually cheap softwares, but they're actually really good. I got this one for about like I think about $40, I believe. But yeah, these are at a good price. So if you're looking for one, then these are the things you should start with. As of right now, I don't have a Mac computer, but I'm still planning to get one so I can move on to get a Final Cut Pro, because I'm good at editing on Final Cut Pro as well. So maybe one day I'll switch to that. Okay. Even though that some of my videos are actually edited through Final Cut Pro a little bit, because just only about some of the clips, like the text clips, like Bride of Discord. When I created that title sequence, that was made through Final Cut Pro X. That was the only thing that was Final Cut Pro X material on that video. Was the text, the credits and all. Alright, let's move on. 3, of all your videos, what are your top 10 favorites, ranked in order? Hold, please. Yeah, hold, please. I'm gonna have to think this one over. Okay, so I couldn't grab up a top 10 as you asked for, but I did bring up a 5. So I can give you my 5 favorites of videos, because I know my favorite of all time right now, but I can only give you 5. Alright, so number 5 would have to go to Ponies Stellar, which is a mashup trailer of My Little Pony to Interstellar from Christopher Nolan. A really nice one, because it was hard to find the right shots for it, but I really just cheated that one by doing some like transparent images, visual effects, and stuff like that to get it to make it look real. Number 4 goes for Princess Men. The reason why is because I actually took the time to do that entire trailer because there was so many shots in that trailer, and it was just woo, man, really hard to find all those shots. But yeah, that was a really difficult one to do because there was a lot of shots in there, but all the shots really pulled off. And so, when I got it done, I'm just so proud of it that I actually, just love it. So that's why I'm gonna put that at 4 right there. Okay. Number 3, watch ponies. Why? Because I just nailed that Zack Snyder feel to this. I made it really look like a dark superhero movie, like Watchmen is, and trying to find the right shots to make the to make fun of his slow motion kind of thing, and also that really hard shot that I had to edit when it comes to throwing Rainbow Dash out of the window. That was that was difficult because there was layers of things that I had to put together and animate Rainbow Dash being flowing out, like being thrown out of the window. I had to do that. Number 2 goes for Zap v Matterhorn, the Dawn of Justice. Basically because the same thing. Also, it's kind of funny when you think about it because it's like I'm telling the story about the beginning of the Power Ponies, and it started off with with these rivals here. So I just like that, and plus I really loved how he did that final shot with the rain and Twilight coming down right into the ground. I mean, character choices and all, it's perfect. I like it. I love it. I'm really proud of myself about that one. But my favorite of all time is actually an old video, and I would actually go for My Little Evil Dead, which is the one when I did the horror take on. It's always fun to make something so light and happy and make it and turn it into something scary. It's really fun to do, actually. Man, I remember that I was actually doing the Red Band trailer to that, and I actually had a lot of gore in it. And yet, at that time, I was trying to get this for EQD, Equestria Daily, but I didn't think that they would accept it because of the gore amount. So, shoot. And plus, that file doesn't even exist anymore, so I can't continue on making the Red Band trailer, to make it again today. I would if I could. Just only if I still had that file, though. That project file. But yeah, that's my favorite right there, just because I just made My Little Pony look so darn creepy, and it was just funny to me. It's always funny to me. Because every time I show it to people on what kind of videos do I make, and then I show them that one first. I always show them that one first. Yeah, but somehow I just always end up showing them that one first. You tell me now about the top 10 most difficult. I can't rank that. But I can tell you the most difficult. I want to say that it was Prometheus. The Prometheus one. I don't know. For the episodes that we had at that time, it was really difficult to find the right shots to go into what the trailer had. So that's what was really difficult. And it was really taking me a long time to actually put that video together. At a point, I nearly gave up and just wouldn't do it. Like, man, this is just too hard. I cannot find the right clips. But soon I actually did get it together. It did take me a long time. I don't know how long, but I did get that one together. Another difficult one was actually most recent, which is a Bride of Discord one, because it's a custom trailer. You don't have a trailer to mash it up to. You just have to create the trailer. You literally have to create the trailer and have the footage over. So that means you have to know what the Act 1 of the trailer will be, Act 2 of the trailer, and Act 3 of the trailer. You have to think about how it's going to be edited, cut, the fade in, the fade out, the right clips to use to match with the audio that you're going to use, and also to try to get the audio to match with the sound of the music, because you don't want dialogue to be going on right at some kind of beat or some sort. I'm not sure how to explain that, but and yeah, this does include trying to find the right music to use, as I explained before. You have to find the intense one for Act 3, the music for Act 2, the music for Act 1 to build it up. So that was a difficult trailer to do. So to people who likes to make trailers or wants to make trailers, I want you to do this. Go to the Bride of Discord trailer that I made and take a look at what I did. Look at the visuals that I used. Look at the clips that I put in. Listen to the audio that I used. Listen to where I put the audio when it comes to matching with the music that I used. How I fade or transition the music to go into another. What quotes that I used to make it fade into another. Or just basically the way I cut the clips to make it come down together. Instead of making something lengthy, you can't make anything lengthy. You have to make it as short as it can be. Like an entire dialogue sequence, I have to cut it short somehow to make it seem like it's just one response, final response, or some sort. Instead of just response, going on and on and on. You had to cut it down. That's how trailers are. So yeah, that's how it is. So when you're making something that's a custom trailer, that's the hardest. That's the hardest thing you have to do, because you have to really create and plan so much that you have to do. So yeah, that is a very difficult one as well. So Prometheus, Bride of Discord, those were extremely difficult to do. And I'm actually dealing with something really difficult right now. If you did look at back at a comment from I think it was the Bride of Discord trailer that I put this comment into about the upcoming new mashup trailer, I'm actually doing My Little Pony to Mad Max. I'm trying to make this happen because there's a lot that I have to do to create that world, because I have to make this stay in desert plains and make it look like it, or at least make it look like it, and also make it look like it's post-apocalyptic. And there is a lot of visual effects that I'm gonna have to put into this, and you're gonna have to see later on when the video is done and uploaded. So stay tuned for that one. 5. You asked me, okay, will you make more AMVs as above your Battle Cry AMV is my favorite piece. Thank you. Yeah, I will be making more. Because right now I have my AMV trilogy, which is the Space Dandy one, the Wolf's Reign, and then there is also the Attack on Titan one, which is short. I'm thinking about doing some more AMVs, actually. Yes. What's in my mind right now is Elfen Lied. I'm thinking about doing Elfen Lied. I'm thinking about doing man, I don't know what I'm thinking about doing. There are some more. Maybe I could do. I could do Full Metal Alchemist. That's another thing. Brotherhood, the Brotherhood one. I could do that, and I could do I could do Elfen Lied. So those are. I'm still planning. So yeah, there will be more. you'll see. You'll see by then. Okay, so here we go. Let's move on. Alright, this is from Abby Collier. Abby Collier. You ask me, how many animes have you watched? Well, this is actually considered the impossible question to answer. When you're an anime lover, you can't answer this. Unless you have to go through the list of things that you know. So I really cannot answer that one specifically, but I can just go ahead and just tell you like the animes that I've watched. Like I've watched the Dragon Ball series. I watched Attack on Titan the first season. Like I love Space Dandy. I've watched Space Dandy. I've watched Katura-san. I watched Elfen Lied. Did I say it? Yeah, I did say Attack on Titan. I did. Wolf's Rain as well. I'm still watching The Devil is a Part-Timer. I'm still watching that right now. I'm trying to get started with Blue Exorcist someday. That's one of the anime plans that I have. But yeah, I guess that gives you a good idea about what I have. I've seen just random episodes when it comes to Inuyasha or Naruto, because that's such a they are lengthy shows, and I haven't really caught up. Sometimes I'll just switch to Toonami and holy crap, it's on. Even though I don't know what's going on, I watch the episodes. So I don't know, I'm pretty much spoiling myself. Because I really just can't catch up to it. It's already so far. But yeah, so I guess I'll let that be an answered question right there, because I can't answer that one specifically. Alright, moving on. And we have this question from the one and only Pinky Rose, who is actually the voice actress in Bride of Discord, because she voices Pinkie Pie in Bride of Discord. Alright, and she asks, she says this. She says, OMG, congrats. You are a really awesome person. I love your trailer. They're so creative. Thank you very much. This means a lot to me, Pinky Rose. And I really loved your voice acting in Bride of Discord. Just to let you know. Alright, and you have your questions. 3 of them. Alright. What do you use to edit your stuff? You might have answered this 10 times by now. Yeah, I have. And if you're listening to this, you probably already know the answer. So, Vegas Movie Studio HD Platinum 10. So, yeah, there's the answer right there. Okay, so, yeah, there's the answer right there. Number 2 is how did you learn how to edit your videos? Getting this software was when I got this software, of course, I just watched a whole bunch of tutorials on YouTube to get to know this well. So that's how I learned how to use the software, but how to create these videos. But let's just talk about how I create the latest videos. It's basically this jumps back to when I watched the videos like 300 Ponies, which is a popular mashup trailer. Because it's so funny when you mash up something that's so happy, light, family friendly, to something that's just gory and dark and metal, basically. So that's the funny thing about it. So I really pretty much did that when I had the opportunity to do Immortals, which is kind of the same thing. Immortals is my very first bona fide trailer, and it's still uploaded. You can look it up. It's still on my channel. So it's back then I just mashed up. I just did exactly what 300 Ponies did when they just only mashed up clips that match. Today I don't do that. I do mash up, clips that match, but I also choose characters, choose the right emotion, colorize the clip, match it up right to the whatever setting that these scenes take place, and see if I can make it, match well. Maybe I'll use visual effects to cheat at times. But yeah. Alright, so 3, you ask me, where do you get your creativity? Well, there's something right there. Here's an interesting one, Picky Rose, because my latest videos are actually been, better than how they used to be. I'm currently in film college right now. I just got out of my first year. Yeah, I just got out of my freshman year, and in my editing class. Yeah, so I did have an editing class earlier this year, just to get familiar with some of the other editing softwares. But we are also taught about like techniques when it comes to editing a scene, putting something together and how it's done. When it comes to matching, because you get to learn that when you're editing, you're telling the story. Like, I need to get the emotions right. Sometimes, somebody could yell this important quote to a certain person. I have to show the emotion of the person that this yelling guy is talking to. So I'll have to show it. And there's just probably like cut here, cut there. Just so I can know, just so the audience can know, like, who is this person talking to, or how does this person feel about what they just said. That's kind of the cutting thing, because when you don't have good editing, you're not gonna know what's going on, basically. And it's actually true. I've seen bad editing in movies before, and it does get difficult. And I just be sitting there saying, oh, I would have cut it like this, or I would have cut it like that. And even without dialogue, it helps. Like, if you remember, if any of you have ever seen Bonnie and Clyde, you remember that very ending sequence when they get oh yeah, spoiler alert to those, like, I don't know, whatever. But Bonnie and Clyde, when they get shot up at the end, massacred. You notice that how quick those cuts are before they get shot up, because when they show the birds flying away, they show the bush, they show their faces looking at each other in a like kind of a panic kind of thing, and then all of a sudden, bam, all the shooting goes out. But yeah, when you look at a movie, try to study on that, and you'll probably see exactly what I'm talking about. But we always known this, but we never actually, just say, actually say something. Because when you're watching the movie, you're just following along without saying anything in your head. But sometimes when you do see a bad edit, you'll lean over to the next person saying, like, okay, who is he talking to? Or what does he mean? It's all in the editing. Or was this guy just doing this because there's continuity? Like, somebody could be reaching for a fork, and then all of a sudden it cuts, and he's not reaching for the fork anymore, and it's a little confusing. So that's another thing that's really difficult in editing. You have to be very careful on. So who teaches me this? Well, get ready for this. My teacher is the editor of Toy Story, Bob Gordon. Yeah. he's the original editor of Toy Story when it comes to putting the storyboards together. That he showed us that, and he gave us this opportunity to edit these scenes that were filmed in Nashville, so we could put them together in our own kind of thing. And he did actually like the work that I've done, the projects that he gave us. He really did actually like that. So coming from the guy who edited Toy Story, that means actually a lot, because he said he really likes some of the stuff I do. Because in his words, it's like go edit, go et it, not edit, but edit, if you know what I mean. But yeah, this is like a free roam kind of thing, and then he'll come and critique. So yeah, some of the things he does critique, but most of the time he really does love the things that I do. I mean, basically all the time. There's not a bad edit. You just have to remember the things that he says, and then you'll just basically get it. Or maybe you're gonna have it perfect, but he's gonna tell you this certain technique that is actually very interesting that you could do, because when you're doing the editing, you can actually cheat. Like, there are ways to cheat when it comes to editing. Like, I can show a different emotion to a certain quote. I don't know. That part's a lot to explain, so I'm not really gonna get into that. But yeah, Bob Gordon, the editor of Toy Story, he taught me recently, just earlier this year. So yeah, that answers that. All right. We have this question from Miss Wicked Wolf asking, "What's your favorite and least favorite action movie?" My favorite. Well, I guess you could say, when it comes to the most recent, it's Mad Max Fury Road, because I never seen an action movie that has been so well organized in such a long time. Just so well done. I like that because, as a lot of people says, action movies are falling apart these days, and I have to admit they are. And because usually a good action movie is like great action, great ways to be, great production, and great story and all. But today sometimes we'll get great action, but we don't get the story. That's a kind of a Michael Bay's thing, is when he does actually have some entertaining action, but needs work in the stories of his films. But then there's also, but his action movies, they're not all that bad as everybody just keep on saying that they are. I mean, the really bad action movies that I've seen today is when it's just, I consider, lazy. When it's just, to me, like, well, this seems like if I read the script, I say, hey, this actually looked like somebody can actually pull this off to make it an entertaining action movie. Sometimes they'll make it into garbage by the visuals. I'm sorry to say this, but an example has to go to Olympus Has Fallen. Like, to me, there was the visual effects were like extremely fake in that movie, and that really bugged me. It distracted me. You have to have really good visual effects to do this, and even though that you couldn't have a higher budget, I wouldn't go for it. If I don't know how much that movie cost, but if they weren't able to have something more realistic looking than what they had, then I wouldn't make the movie at all. Not until I had enough money. Just like White House Down did have enough money to make all those, most of those realistic effects. Because in this, there was like too much obvious green screens, obvious CGI, because of the I don't know. the CG on that plane was really bad. The CGI on the monument falling, really, really bad. And then the CGI explosions. I don't like CGI explosions. CGI explosions are only necessary sometimes. Sometimes they can be necessary only when you think they just can't be done. Like in Avatar, it was necessary. I mean, the whole thing is in a CG world. Of course, you're gonna have a CGI explosion in there. Having a realistic explosion is, I don't know how it's gonna look, but that is one thing right there. So yeah, the CGI explosions and the CGI fire in Avatar, that was fine because it blends in to what we're seeing. Because we really couldn't create. I can't really see how they could create using the real fire or real explosions into that, unless it's an explosion in the air or something. I don't know. But yeah, CGI explosions and all. If you want to blow up a helicopter in the air, use a miniature or just use a real helicopter and blow it up. No matter the budget, don't get lazy, blow it up. If you want to blow a house up, blow a house up, or blow up a miniature house. If you want to blow up the White House, or at least part of the White House, don't use CGI. Use a miniature. It makes it more real. We see that in Die Hard, and we see that in Independence Day when they blew up the entire White House, and that still looks really realistic. And that was a large miniature if you look it up. So yeah, don't get lazy. Because if you look at the movies back in the 90s, they used a lot of, real planes, real jets, and real this, real helicopters, real this, real that, real audience. But today it's CGI audience, it's CGI jets, it's CGI planes, it's CGI helicopters, and that can annoy me. Use the real things when you can. That's the way that Christopher Nolan does, because even at the times when CGI is necessary, he still goes realistic. Like, he still does miniature. And I'm really happy that he does not use CGI explosions. He just doesn't. He only uses CGI when it's really, really necessary. So I really like that. So yeah, favorite to least favorite action movie. So I guess my favorite action movie in a long time would be like Mad Max Fury Road, for when it comes to the latest of all time. I'm not sure. But I do enjoy a lot of John Woo movies because they're just really, nuts, crazy, fun action movies. And, some Michael Bay movies, which are, the same kind of thing. Least favorite action movie. Whatever is lazy. Whatever has bad visual effects and extremely bad writing, then that just makes it a really bad action movie. That just doesn't work. To think of a specific movie, I can't think of one right now. But yeah, I hope that answered that. Moving on. This one is from Lakoza, asking, in your opinion, what's the hardest thing to do in making a video? Well, I'm not sure what type of video it is, but if you're thinking about like a bonafide trailer, we're just gonna use one example. Bonafide trailer is basically when think about what you're making. Like, if you want to make a bonafide trailer to this certain movie, then you have to think about it. Like, is it possible? Can you pull it off? If you think so, download the video and try to put it together and see if it can actually be done. Like, watch it again and again and again and see if you can actually think that this can actually be mashed up easily. Don't choose something that will be too hard to mash up unless you know exactly how to do it and make it look, believable. Because sometimes I've seen mashups that use that I know that from the audio it's something extremely different, and then the visual, it has nothing to do with it. And here's something to also watch out when when there's no dialogue going on in the audio, but in the visuals there's dialogue going on, because you have your character talking, even though that this is supposed to be an intense moment. So it's basically all about finding the right clips. That's the hardest thing about it. Find the right clips, where the episode is, and just making sure if the video is possible. That's the hardest thing about it. Alright, moving on to the last one, which are 4 questions. Not final question, but the final status from Random Knight. Asking 4 questions. The first one would be, where did you learn to animate these? I guess I kind of learned it on my own. I kind of learned it on my own will when it comes to moving some things around and playing around with the software. That's basically how I learned how to do some of that kind of techniques. What is your favorite Cartoon Network show? Now, if you're talking about the current Cartoon Network, because the current Cartoon Network is actually downright awful. But only some shows, like a couple of shows I find decent, or watchable, something I probably like a little bit. But there's only one show on Cartoon Network right now that has me in tears laughing, and that would be The Amazing World of Gumball. That show is 100% brilliant. I love it to death. Like, there is nothing bad about that show to me. I just love it. It's too funny. I said nothing on that channel compares to it. Man, I love that. I love Gumball. It's too funny. But that answers. Number 3, what is your favorite film franchise? Ooh. I want to say, there's a lot. I really love the Middle-earth saga. I love Harry Potter. I guess I can't, I love Godzilla. I'm a big fan of Godzilla. I'm a fan of James Bond. But I guess they're going to have to hand this crown over to Harry Potter. Just because at this entire series, when you watch it through, you're literally watching a childhood. You're literally, watching a coming-of-age story. Like, you're watching, that movie Boyhood. You're basically watching Boyhood in 8 movies. So I find that to be a very interesting. Like, it's a fantasy that takes place in all those years. It's really interesting on that part, and also for the behind the scenes is interesting, because how these they grew up making these movies, and it's like, that's their childhood. I was making a movie. That was my childhood. So yeah, I hand that to Harry Potter, just because it's just such an interesting thing when you have this whole coming of age kind of story. So yeah, I crown it to Harry Potter. 4, what's your favorite movie? Avatar. James Cameron's Avatar. It's because that Avatar really appealed to me when it comes to his visuals, and the way that James Cameron created this fascinating world of these different creatures, these alien-like creatures, and it gives like a very strong message, and it works. Why? Because this is a different world, but yet he's connecting us to it. Because like, oh, that's a pretty tree. Ooh, that's a pretty plant. Ooh, that's a pretty animal. Here or there, it's like just so gorgeous, because you do spend a lot of time bonding with it, just like how Jake Sully does, and you feel that emotion with him. And once they do start tearing those trees down, you feel the emotion. And plus, it's like when some people say like trees are alive, and some people say that the tree is just an object. in the movie, the tree has souls in it, so it's making it alive. So then you have no choice but to feel for the trees. So when they tear down those trees, they're taking down those the souls with them. So that's what makes it really emotional. So I thought that was the most genius thing about that movie was the Tree of Souls. I really love that idea because I hope that that is exactly what he was intending, was to actually make the was to actually make the trees feel alive, and when they get torn down, you feel the emotion that, man, they actually just tore those Tree of Souls down. So I absolutely love that movie. I cannot wait for James Cameron's sequels because he's working a lot on them. He's really trying to make this a great movie, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a great movie. So I'm really excited for Avatar 2, 3, and 4. I think they're making a 4. So yeah, that's the final question. What's your favorite movie? That's a nice one. All right. Well, that is all the questions in the Q&A. Thank you guys for sticking around and listening to all the questions. I hope these answers, help you get to know me more, basically, on who I am and what I like. So yeah, also again, thank you guys so much for all these subscribers. It's been great, and I see that we're almost getting up to 2,500, so that's great too. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Right now, like as I said before, I still have that Mad Max Fury Road trailer parody that's coming, so keep an eye out for that one. So you guys stick around and stay subscribed, and well, have a nice time. Alright, talk to y'all later. Thank you.